Yeah, so my name is Rick Truijillo. I'm the Cloud Business Director at MicroAge. What that means is I oversee the growth and development of everything that we do from a cloud perspective. So that means sales enablement, that means product management, new offerings, everything that we're trying to do from a cloud's perspective, specifically focused on Microsoft, and then all of the managed services that can surround things that we can offer from a Microsoft perspective, managed services, mainly backup and security, archiving, Azure services, Azure managed services, things like that. As far as who we are, as far as MicroAge is concerned, we are a cloud and end-to-end managed services provider based in the United States. So that means we not only provide managed services for cloud, but anything that would enable the IT professional to better do their job as far as being an internal service provider to their business, growing and developing the business. We focus on all the other things that they don't necessarily need to focus on day to day. That includes like help desk, monitoring, networking, managed network, and of course everything around Microsoft 365 and Azure.
If you were to recommend our services to another partner, what would you say to them?
I would say as far as point of entry is concerned is to just spend time with the group and get an understanding of how good they actually are at consulting. Just we as managed services providers in technology business, we're trying to provide services to clients. We for the most part, stay within our own bubble. And it's important to have somebody outside the organization sort of hear our story and hear what it is that we're trying to do as an organization and offer suggestions and advice. I think one of the most powerful things that the Crancer Group offers, just outside of just being a good consultant, providing information to us, is keeping us up to date on what's going on in the world of Microsoft. That's a very difficult thing to do for any business to try to do on their own. So working with an organization that is focused on trying to provide and be up to speed on the latest information that's offered by the world of Microsoft is extremely important, especially around the CIE community, the Customer Immersion Experience community. There's always a lot of changes going on there, and Crancer Group does a very, very good job of keeping us informed.
So, do you believe you have improved your Microsoft practice and partnership after using our services?
Yeah, I think so. I think, again, tying back to what I spoke about earlier, I think the guidance is important. It's important to have a third-party organization that understands what it is that we're trying to do, and maybe they don't understand what they're trying to do, but they want to hear about it so they can just offer some support and guidance in that area. We do appreciate the fact that they know a lot of people at Microsoft. I think that's helpful for us as well, whether it comes to things like problem resolution, or we're trying to do things with our business and we want to get an understanding of how we can partner with Microsoft on some of the changes that we want to make to our business. Following the usual, path to get to the right resource at Microsoft can be challenging. However, when we work with somebody like the Crancer Group, they know people, and they give us a faster track to getting to the right resources, and it's been very helpful.
More about that and how the Customer Immersion Experience initiative has impacted the way you have done business in your organization?
Well, sure. So when we think about Customer Immersion Experience at MicroAge, we look at it in two categories. One is modern workplace. The other is around Azure. Crancer Group was able to help us sort of get started with understanding what the customer immersion experience was like around modern workplace, and it allowed us to get positioned to become CIE certified ourselves. So a lot of what we do around modern workplace here at MicroAge it's done internally. We've got our own team that's dedicated to that. Now, when it comes to Azure, that's a whole different ballgame. We do have a pretty deep bench of cloud engineers that can probably tell the Azure story and provide a CIE experience. However, they're dedicated to other things like delivering professional services. And if you reach out to the CIE community at Microsoft and say, hey, I'd like to get some more information on how we can become Azure CIE certified, they point us back to who they feel is the best in the business at delivering Azure CIEs. And it's the Crancer Group. I mean, that's who they know, that's who they've named. So rather than us thinking about taking on something like that on our own, we feel it's best to just use who is best at delivering those types of experience to clients when it comes to Azure. So we work with Crancer Group actively around Azure Customer Immersion Experiences, and we feel it benefits us in a couple of ways. One, it helps us to meet new clients, right? We invite clients to these particular events, and it gives us an opportunity to get to know some new people and uncover some opportunities. Two, it helps us with our existing client base, because there are clients out there that we work with that haven't made the journey to Azure yet necessarily, or maybe they are in Azure, they're just trying to get some more people, some knowledge transfer to some of their people internally, and the Azure CIE experience does a great job of setting them up for that as well. So it just makes us look more like a complete value add, because we're providing knowledge transfer around modern workplace, but at the same time we're providing knowledge transfer around Azure, especially with that 101 kind of experience where maybe they've got some engineers that are used to working with legacy infrastructure, but they're not very well versed with working in Azure infrastructure, and the CIE experience offered by Crancer Group does a really good job of providing that experience to those IT pros.
So Rick, would you like to share any success stories that you've had by using our services, whether it's along the lines of the customer immersion experiences or any other Microsoft practices that we've helped you with?
Yeah, so getting back to my comment earlier about the Azure CIE experience and how it's helped us with either A, getting to know new clients, or B, trying to drive more value in the relationship with existing clients. We've had a pretty large customer of ours that we've been working with for several years and with other parts of their business, but they've never really trusted us or found us credible from as far as Microsoft Cloud services were concerned. And we were in the middle of a pretty large managed services proposal with them for Microsoft 365. And one of the things we did is we invited a couple of their users to an Azure CIE hosted by the Crancer Group. And the chief technology officer overheard that we had invited these techs to this meeting, and that the techs had a good experience. And that was enough for him to really realize that we were trying to add value in other areas, not just in what it was that we were necessarily trying to sell them. And it helped to close that opportunity. And we've got a pretty good managed services relationship going with that client now. And I think a lot of it had to do with the fact that the CTO overheard that we were trying to add value in other areas, and we couldn't have done that without the Crancer Group.